Thanks for joining us for another episode of Recovery in 20. This week, Mary is with us again. She's the alumni coordinator here at Aspen Ridge Recovery. And I wanted to learn more about alumni programming. What is the purpose of it? What do you guys do? And just learn more about it. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great to have you back. So alumni programming, generally speaking, like what is its primary purpose? Forgive the AA joke there.
I would say the main purpose of an alumni program is for community connection and long-term recovery support. Treatment does not stop and recovery does not stop upon graduation or upon discharge or completion of whatever program you're going through. And an alumni program is just the continuation of that long-term recovery support.
So as far as building a community, do you think, which of those things do you think is the most important? Is it building community? Are they all equal? What's...
I would say, just given my personal experience, community was definitely the most important for me, and therefore it's something that I definitely harp on quite a bit. And the reason for that is I came to treatment from out of state. I'm from Connecticut. I came to treatment knowing nobody, having no family in Colorado, never being here. And so when I made the decision to stay in Colorado and to build a life for myself, the first and most vital part of that was kind of creating a new family or a chosen family. You know, I still had my blood family, but they were 2,000 miles away. And I still needed that support. I still needed that connection from my community. And thus, everything else grew from there. So I made the friends, I made the people who were going to hold me accountable, and that all came from my community and the support that I got from them.
So accountability, you mentioned, I think that's a key portion of alumni programming and just the recovery process, the post-treatment recovery process.
Yeah.
I know from my own personal experience that if I'd have left treatment and just gone right back to where I was staying with the same friends, and I don't know if I would have lasted, you know. I bet I could have got that 30-day, the 60-day chip.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, old habits die hard, and what's really changed, and I think it was actually, you know, building those connections in a 12-step community. That was my preferred, you know, support system. I don't think that I would have ever been able to stay sober. I do regret not taking advantage of the alumni programming at the treatment center I went to.
Oh, Steve.
I know.
Oh.
Shame on me. I did do some of the aftercare stuff, but I didn't take advantage of it at the time, and it's a big regret of my early sobriety. And that support is absolutely critical. And part of that whole sense of community is, well, duh, your chosen family. We need friends.
Yeah.
And it's important to have sober recovery friends, sober, clean recovery friends.
Yeah. I found, like, an alumni community, the alumni community for the treatment center that I went through, it was just, like, events and things to do with my friends that I had made in treatment. So, I mean, at first I was like, that's lame. Like, I just got out of treatment. I don't want to go back and hang out with the treatment center I just went through. So I definitely started off with that attitude, and then they were doing things like paintballing and going fishing and whitewater rafting and all of these things that I wanted to do, that I was like, man, I'm missing out.
Yeah.
So got a bunch of friends that I had made in treatment and just in my recovery program of choice, and was like, hey, let's go do this thing. Like, is it with the treatment center I went through? Yeah, but it's fun regardless.
I think that was one of the things that held me back, because I was like, I just spent 33 days there. Like, I'm ready to, like, take a little bit of a break, but I never really re-engaged, and shame on me.
Yeah.
So our alumni program at Aspen Ridge, what do we do? What kind of stuff do you guys do?
We do a ton of stuff. So leading into it, it kind of tried to hit all of the points. So the community point, the fun things. I mentioned paintballing. We do that. We're going paintballing in Lakewood next week. We do the hiking. We're doing that in Colorado Springs this weekend. We do the holistic mind, body, spirit. We have an alumni who teaches a free yoga class over Zoom so that any of our alumni around the country can come and join. And then we also do the recovery support side. So we have a weekly recovery support meeting for our alumni where our clients can join in, where our alumni community comes together to participate and give back to the current Aspen Ridge milieu, which I have seen wonderful things happen in terms of the clients being helped and of the alumni coming back and being able to give back.
That sense of the service aspect of recovery.
Service, like community through service, is something that I believe in so much. This connection, that being of service again to a place that you went through is just huge. It gives a sense of purpose.
So you mentioned paintballing, hiking, any whitewater rafting trips on the books that I need to be sent an invite to?
Not yet. I'm knocking on wood. I want to try and get out on a camping trip down to the National Sand Dunes for the annual meteor shower in August. So I got my sights set on planning that. So keep your eye out for that. You might want to come.
Let me know if you need any help. I have camped there, backcountry camp there. I know lots of tips and tricks and I've got a tent, so
Deal.
Definitely keep me in the loop on that one. You guys do sports stuff too? I think I saw a kickball thing recently.
Yeah. So we are a part of a national collaborative called TPass, which means all of the alumni coordinators across the state get together every month and plan an event, which is what that kickball event was. And so we do sports. Kickball was a great time. I think we had almost 100 people over the course of the 6 or 8 hours that we were there playing a tournament against all of these treatment centers. It was a ton of fun. Shout out to Green Team who won. I was hurt. I was on red. We almost won.
Second place, though?
Second place.
Silver medal is a respectable placement.
Thank you. I think so. And then we're looking into TSRA Sober Softball League for the fall, which we've had a ton of interest in. We've had alumni who have been part of TSRA leagues in the past. I've never personally done it, but I am pumped to be on this softball league. So hopefully have our sights on that. And then we also try to put on events for people who maybe aren't down for paintballing and hiking and softball. So we have a book club that meets once a month at the end of the month. Our alumni choose the book and we open it up to the recovery community so that they can engage with other people with similar interests as well, not just pigeonholed to their own recovery community or their own alumni community.
What are you guys reading?
This month we're reading Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I have yet to order it on Amazon. Thank you for reminding me that I need to get it.
You still got some time before the book club meeting?
Yeah, it's the last Sunday of the month. I have 2 weeks to binge read it. I got this.
Okay. So I do know we have an app called Aspen Ridge Connect. Tell me about the app. What's it for? Who's on there? What goes on there?
Yes, I love our app. I know some people hear me talk about it all too much. This is an app that we created specifically for alumni, and all things alumni are on there. That's where people can find all of our events, all of the activities, Zoom information to our Zoom events, as well as posting things like a running gratitude journal. That's the part that I like the most. I even go back and look at the gratitudes that I posted when the app first launched in February. And I'm like, oh, like that's so sweet. Life has changed. And having that running gratitude journal. People post pictures of like things that they're doing that week that they're excited to do, pictures of them going on hikes with other alumni or with family.
Stuff they've done on their own?
Yeah.
Independent? That's awesome.
Oh my God, it makes me so happy when I see alumni hanging out with each other outside of things that we've planned. And they post that on the app and how excited they are to spend time together. Looking for support. Some people post if they're looking for a sponsor or if they're looking for a meeting or if they want to grab coffee with somebody. And so it's really just a private space for all things alumni, for people to reach out to each other, to find all the information they need on events and activities, and also have a good time. So it's awesome. I love the app.
So back to that community piece we were talking about. So
Yeah.
just an online place for everyone to share fun things in a Facebook-like app without the Facebook-like negativity and
Yeah.
comments.
Absolutely.
So I do know that we do call and text support, text support, not tech support, for alumni. Can you tell me a little bit about that, and what do people reach out to you for, and just more about that?
Yeah, I personally reach out to all of our recent graduates within 24 to 48 hours of graduation, just to check in, introduce myself if I haven't already, make sure they have my contact information, and let them know what I'm there for. You know, if you even just need someone to chat with, if you need support, if you're looking for a sponsor, a meeting, your therapist fell through, like, go ahead and reach out to me, and while I may not be the person with all the answers, I will find somebody that can answer their questions for them. So really just a resource. I call myself an educated resource. So I try to make sure that I am plugged into the different resources that I can offer to our alumni, so that when I reach out, if they have any questions, I can connect them to the proper channels. And so as I reach out in that 24 to 48 hours, I reach out about a week later, and then, you know, up to 30, 60, 90 days later, just check in, seeing how they're doing. Sometimes it's a text or a call, or I see them at our alumni events, and I just want to be that friendly face, that familiar face, the stable or stability, in case they ever need anything, and they know that as a person in recovery myself, that they can come and talk to me
Street
and
cred.
find the help. Oh, all the street cred. Yes.
It sounds like you're quite busy with all the alumni stuff. I think you know, the outreach and stuff. If I'd have been, I don't want to say bothered, if someone had been so consistently in touch with me after I got out of treatment, I probably would have gone camping and paintballing and stuff like that. So I think it's great.
Oh.
I think it's great to, you know, not let them go. It's not quite an extension of clinical care, because you're not a therapist, but it is, you know, recovery support that just goes on for as long as somebody wants to be engaged with us.
Absolutely. And I think it's also important that it's not so much clinical care. It's a lot, that casual piece of it, I think, is just as important. Of like, hey, you know, like, I'm here with you too.
Absolutely. And you know, so many of us are in recovery that work here, that it's just a good resource to, you know, hey guys, you know, we get it, been there, done it. So I wanted to save a little bit of time at the end for any cool stories. People on these seem to watch it more when we have stories, unless us just talking about cool stuff going on in Aspen Ridge. So do you have any good stories, obviously leaving names out, of clients who have really engaged with the app, or some of the events? Maybe someone was in a tough place. You know what I'm talking. Any uplifting, cool stories?
I would say the first time that we went paintballing, we had about 20 people show up, and it was last summer. God, it was like probably 100 degrees, as hot as it is now. And I thought we were going to be out there for 30 minutes, tap out, and go home. We played paintball for upwards of 3 hours. We had tournaments going. We had people like sweating, and there was an older client there who was not happy about being there, and she started playing, and she was the best player on the team. She took the whole thing over. I wanted her on my team, and God, it was just great to see the difference of somebody coming in of like, it's hot, I don't want to be here, this seems like a lot, and then feeling what it feels like to be connected and engaged, and just running with it. And that is, to me, the most rewarding aspect, is just that, seeing somebody who feels like they don't want to be there at first, feeling what it feels like to connect with other people, and then just time flies and they don't want to leave after. I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I definitely invite me to any future paintball outings. I've never played. I'm a little scared, but I think it would be fun.
On the 26th.
It's great to hear that story about that lady. That's definitely how I kind of approach, even today, with 4 years clean and sober, how I, sometimes I really don't want to do these things. I don't want to go hang out with people in recovery on a Monday night. I don't want to do, some of those obligations and things. And the second I get there and do it, like, I have a blast. I'm so happy that I went. And, I don't. It's interesting about us recovery folks, how we still, even years later, kind of try and fight the things that are good for us.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, if there's anything else you want to share, feel free. If not, we can wrap things up.
I'm not the best storyteller, so I kind of panicked when you asked. That's, I think, all I got. My brain went blank, and now I'm down for the count.
Oh, one more thing. You mentioned TPass. You give yourself a little promotion. You're on the board now. Remind me what's your position over there?
Yeah, I am our Colorado chapter TPass co-chair, which means that me and my fellow co-chair represent the Colorado chapter of TPass on the national level, which is incredible. We are a part of the group that gets all of our alumni coordinators in the state together every month and try to engage new people. Any recovery support that we think would be important for the alumni coordinators of Colorado to know about, we engage them, get them plugged in, and make sure that we add them as a resource to our alumni communities. So it's really great. I have adored being a part of TPass. It was something and continues to be something that I look forward to and am constantly amazed by, just as a community, to see our alumni playing and hanging out and connecting with the statewide alumni. It's awesome.
It's really awesome that I had never heard of it until I started working here, and I just assumed that alumni coordinators at different recovery centers just kind of were, hey, let's do this and that. I had no idea it was so integrated in sharing what works, what doesn't work, and ideas, and bringing everyone statewide together. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, it's an amazing collaborative effort, and it's really a beautiful thing to be a part of. I'm so grateful.
Well, congrats on that. That's a big accomplishment, especially for someone as young as you are.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today. We'll be back next week with another episode. And as always, if you or someone you know needs help with addiction, mental health, or trauma, feel free to visit aspenridgerecovery.com, or you can give us a call at 855-281-5588. We do accept most insurance plans, and we are in network with Blue Cross Blue Shield in just a couple days. So if you've got that, give us a call.
Yay, thanks.
Thank you guys for watching.